Greenwoodies, wild woodies, welcome once again to a quick update regarding the Wildwood Tarot, the version that we're looking to do as a limited edition this year. I just thought I'd give you a quick update about where we were, tell you about the website, the greenwoodtarot.com. I'll talk about that more in a minute. I just wanted to sort of say, well, here we are, March 20. There are daffodils sprouting up in the garden, and today I've seen the hare running around on the back lawn, as well as the pleasant pheasants are out there as well, running around on the front lawn. And just as a quick story, I was wandering around, pottering around today, doing all kinds of things, preparing for this actually. And I heard this caterwauling and squawking from on the drive. And that's loud. It sounded like a flock of geese literally landed on the driveway. And I went and looked at the front door, and there were two of the biggest geese you've ever seen literally at the front door, almost banging on the front door, I guess wanting to get fed. So we put food out for them anyway, and we've had literally the geese land and stay with us for a day or so. And then fly off. Well, today literally they came to the front door, wanted to know where their food was, where their seed was. So I did throw some out for them, so I hope they come back. Anyway, so spring is creeping ever more slowly underneath the doormat and into our world. So welcome, that's what I say. So regarding a little bit of an update here. Some of you know I've been travelling quite a lot. I kind of bounced from Malta to Berlin to Amsterdam to New York to Las Vegas to Los Angeles and back to Amsterdam over the last few months. And so it's nice to be back home here. And while I was on my travels, I managed to pick up some of the original materials that Jessica and I worked on, and so I'll talk about those in a minute. I just wanted to sort of say, you know, that the product of this little book, which Jessica and I worked on together, it wasn't just something that, you know, we dashed off for any other reason other than because of the size of the book, we couldn't get all of the information that we wanted to get into that book. And Jessica came to me with the idea of doing a follow-on guidebook for the Greenwood, which had more information about the minor arcana and some of the other ideas and concepts that we'd worked on for almost 4 years. Basically, it was probably from 1989-90 through till 93, or you know, the book was released in 96. So getting on, I was over 4 years anyway, of various trips and visits and sessions that we had done thinking about all of this. And we couldn't get it all into that little book, so Jessica came up with the idea of putting a little accompanying book which she could sell at her talks, because we both did talks both separately and together. We did one memorably, of course, and a lot of people know that, in Chicago, but a lot of bookstores and various other esoteric places around the world basically, but certainly London and in New York we'd done a couple. Talking about this system and how it was developed. So we actually talked about this book and what we were going to put in it, because a lot of the ideas were directly derivative of the whole research that we'd done together. And obviously it had my blessing, because I wanted Jessica and her art certainly to have a wider international audience. I wanted her art to be seen around the world if that was possible, and the esoteric ideas that went with it. And I wanted her to be able to go and lecture and talk about this, and she certainly did. And this little book was part of that, and this is probably one of the original books that were independently printed up just to accompany with the talks. And as you've seen online already, there is some artwork in these books that we were looking at and exploring, the different levels, the different types of concept for the world tree, and the levels of consciousness for humanity. So that is the original book that I have, and that is the original concept for the Wheel of the Year, with the colours relating to various chakra points and levels of human consciousness, which it didn't end up being translated into the production book, which turned out being black and white, because obviously this one had colours in it and it was a bit more complex, and there were more levels to it. But that's the original, one of the original sketches that accompanied the book. So as per Cheska's wishes, we're going to be making a PDF of this original book, which you can download for free from the Wildwood Tarot, the Greenwood Tarot. I'm getting confused. The greenwoodtarot.com, and with some of the artwork, so you can have those as a free download, as Cheska wished, and you can take a look at how the thing was developed. I also discovered while I was digging about the original set of these are the major arcanas. These are the original slides that were made of the major arcana that we used during the actual lectures in various places, and they're pretty good quality, actually, I have to say, and very detailed. So hopefully we'll be using these images, that's the major arcana there, to base the production version of the Greenwood Tarot, that you will be able to purchase as soon as we get it into production and it's available. So they will be coming from these original slides that were taken from the original artwork, and were used by both of us, by Cheska and I believe she had a set of these. I don't know where they are. If anybody does, please drop me a note. I don't know where they went, but I certainly obviously have held on to mine and kept them close to me. I also found, which I'd forgotten all about, my slides for the Robin Hood lectures, which are about my various visitations to Templar sites in Yorkshire, and the history of Robin Hood and the Green Man, and the Cistercians, the history of the Cistercians, and their amalgamating of the Greenwood foliate face into the belief system at various abbeys around Yorkshire. And I took those out, and it sort of reminded me I might do some talks about that as well, because there's a lot of research that cross-grained, if you like, from this research from Robin Hood, and all that research about the Cistercians and the history of the Knights Templar into the Greenwood Tarot. That was something I'd done separately, and so I talked about that separately, although Cheska and I both talked about the Greenwood Tarot together and separately. But that's the original book. If you have one of these, I'd hang on to it, because to be honest with you, I don't know how many were produced. I guess not many. Cheska had a few of them that she used to sell when she was doing her lectures, as well as her artwork that she used to sell, and I'm sure there's some of that floating about out there as well. But of these, I honestly don't know. I remember we discussed it, we worked on it together, I threw in ideas, and I was more than happy for her to go off and do this, and sell these with her artwork when she was out doing her lectures, and I was very happy for her to do that. And as most of her real friends know, and the friends that are out there that know, she was a bit of a gypsy. And so she lived with lots of different people in their spare rooms, sometimes for months on end, sometimes for years on end. And with me, you know, she lived in my spare room in South London for getting on for 2 years, I guess. So people know that she was a bit of a gypsy at heart. And I wanted her to be able to at least make her way and make some money selling both her artwork and these little books. So it was done totally with my blessing. But we'll give that away for you as a PDF on the website when we get into production of the deck. So just as a follow-up to that as well, I just want to sort of emphasize again the amount of work that went into this. It wasn't just a thing that we threw together at the last minute. We visited many sacred sites, recumbent stone circles, wells, various holy wells around northern England and Shropshire, all over, and Wales as well. We visited lots of various places that were associated with the myths and legends, basically to tune in to get some understanding of what people were thinking. This was something to do with my interest in the human experience, and even from Stone Age times and the artwork related to the Stone Age history of the Greenwood Tarot, about the levels of consciousness of what people were thinking about. You know, even then people were trying to understand where they fitted into the universe. People were looking out into the night sky and making pictures out of the stars, but they were also painting in caves and leaving handprints on Stone Age caves with their artwork to leave sort of a marker that they had been there. And I'm sure that they, like we do at times, wonder about the meaning of life and our own existence, and how our consciousness can step over these boundaries and into other levels of consciousness and into other worlds and other universes. So that was something that we spent a lot of time thinking about and working on, and some of it is expressed in the Greenwood Tarot, and some of it is expressed in this little book. So there we have it. There's the books, there's the pictures. I'll say I'll post some more of this artwork that's probably never been seen before, or seen very little, I would think, over the years, and how it relates to the thought process of the Greenwood Tarot. The website will be up shortly. It is actually up now, so if you want to go there and type in thegreenwoodtarot.com, you'll see it, and there's a little button down there which you can press if you want to be kept up to date with various stories about where we are, and some of my little postings like this that explain some of the history, the imagery and the psychology, the whole ethos of the system. So go to thegreenwoodtarot.com and say hello, press the little button, and we will keep you informed of where we are. And as I say, at some point in the proceedings shortly, all of this will become available once we get the deck into some kind of ready for printing condition. Anyway, thank you again. Welcome to the spring. I hope the weather's getting brighter wherever you are, and I will see you shortly again. So take care. See you in the Greenwood. Bye bye for now.